Hey Sarah, do you remember 20 years ago when we had that date? Well, I was so anxious. I actually practiced how I would talk to you in the car for 2 hours before I even came into work that morning. Cringy, I know. Look, I completely get it. You are a shy person. You probably avoid talking to people in case you say the wrong thing. And then, obviously, that's going to ruin your chances of even beginning to date a girl and even talking to her. So instead, you avoid talking to girls completely, which means you ruin all 100% chances of dating girls. Now, being shy is your own mental barrier. Most likely, you don't think you are good enough to date, you're obsessed with your flaws that only you feel are flaws, and you're expecting girls to not even give you a chance. And let's be very honest, with this mentality, you aren't going to get anywhere, buddy. So your job is opening up a casual conversation and seeing where it goes from there. First of all, you've got to start practicing talking to strangers. You have to adopt that fake it until you make it mentality. It's very easy to do so. You literally ask questions about something to open up that engagement with a person. So yes, this probably sounds pretty daft, doesn't it? I mean, you want to practice talking to girls, but your best bet is actually practicing just talking to anybody. Because you will most definitely find that people that are happy just to talk to strangers, well, when I say strangers, I don't mean just having a full-on conversation with someone in the street. I mean being able to open up a conversation with a cashier or a waiter, someone along those lines. They are much more confident to actually go out there and approach girls. So obviously, adopt this same mentality, don't reinvent the wheel, just do what other people do. Confident people like to talk to people, so you have to get used to this. Some great tips is to compliment the cashier that you're talking with or the person serving you coffee. And it doesn't matter if they are a lady or if they are a dude. Find something to say like, oh wow, is this your recommendation? Or if they say, would you like an upgrade of a certain type of coffee? You can say, would you recommend it? And if they say, you know what, I would. You can say, perfect, I'll take your recommendation. Yes, it probably sounds a little bit creepy, but being able to practice talking to people means you can fail in secrecy. So if it turns out you actually start talking to someone in public that is a stranger and you say something stupid or you think, why did I even say that? It doesn't matter, you're probably not going to see them again. So isn't it better to practice failures with people that don't really mean a great deal to you than to practice them on actual ladies who will probably just laugh at you and think, wow, that dude's very awkward. Step 2, you have to start to overcome your own insecurities. You should definitely know by now that these types of videos are not going to give you quick little bit of suggestions of what to do. We're going to dive straight away into that deep psychology so that you can be the best version of yourself. So let's actually identify the reasons why you are shy. A lot of the time, shyness is something that has born out of your own insecurity. It could be you've done something in the past which has completely frightened you off from talking to anyone, let alone just the girls. So it's in your job to sit down and write down a little list, make sure it's a physical list, not a mental one, put some work in, and start to identify why it is you are actually shy. Do you feel you aren't good enough? Do you feel you can't talk very well? Do you feel that you have, I don't know, maybe a noticeable set of acne features on your face that you think girls are definitely going to notice and not want to date with? Whatever it is, as soon as you are aware of what those reasons are, that is putting those blocks into place if you're talking to girls, it makes it a lot easier to actually start pushing those walls down and obviously getting out there and chatting to the ladies. Which naturally leads us into know your worth. Now, yeah, it's all great talking about the things that actually make you feel shy and a bit awkward and probably not great to date, but let's actually be very honest here. There's going to be so many amazing qualities of why someone should date you, and I need you to know your worth by making a list of these things. Again, not a mental list. It has to be a physical list. Do it on your computer, do it on your phone, or even write in a notebook with a pen. I need you to really start valuing you as an amazing person, because if you know that you are someone amazing to date, because let's say, for example, you have a great relationship with your family, you love hanging out with your nieces, so it's good that you would be a great parental figure, you have an amazing stable job, you have a great sense of humor, you're very kind, you're very friendly, you are willing to compromise in any relationship, this means you are an amazing candidate for dating. Now, the reason why this helps to combat shyness is because if you are in your next situation where you have an opportunity to talk with a potential lady friend, what you can do is think, okay, so normally I would be very shy and just turn the other way, but today, oh baby, I'm gonna think, Anna told me to think of reasons what makes me worthwhile to date. Aha, I know. Number one, I'm very friendly. Two, I can protect her with my ninja chopping karate motions. I'm joking here. But two, I can protect her from anything. I can offer her emotional support. And three, I have a stable career so that if she wants to go to part-time work and focus on her hobbies, she can do so. I'm happy to help out. Now, obviously, when you have that mindset, when you go talking to ladies, you don't place them on a pedestal, because at the moment you are considering yourself as high value, which means you have to qualify the people that you are talking to. So before, you probably felt really shy and just presumed that everyone was completely out of your league. However, now when you know your worth, you think, you know what? Because I'm this amazing person with all these things I have to offer, I don't think that girl actually is on my wavelength, and I know I could do better. And therefore, you aren't going to feel shy, you're going to feel confident. Beautiful tip, I know. Tip number 4, do not set expectations for the conversation. If you are panicking about actually approaching a lady for the fear that you don't really know what to do if things go okay or if she rejects you, well, it's because you are setting a mass expectation. If you walk over to a girl and you expect to get a date, you are definitely going to put a lot of unnecessary stress into that situation. So instead, walk over to the girl, say, hi, hey, how you doing? You know, do you come here often? How's the weather? You know, you insert some amazing topic of conversation in there. And you will find that things are a lot easier when you just go with the moment, go with the flow, instead of thinking, okay, she is an absolute bombshell. I've got to walk over there. I have to wow the socks off her because I need to get a date with her. I've got to try all I can. When you take away that pressure and just enjoy the moment with her and yourself, then things are a lot lighter, and I promise you, you aren't going to feel as anxious. Ignore your fear of the unknown. Now, you do not know how they are going to react when you approach them. You don't know what type of person she is. She could be interested in you and really find your shyness quite cute. So instead of feeling ridiculously anxious because you don't know what's going to happen after the conversation, well, then you can just open up this amazing set of confidence skill sets, because all of a sudden you aren't too fussed about what's going to happen. You can think, you know, if I go on a date with her, amazing. If she rejects me because she's got a boyfriend, or I don't know, I'm not her type, that's also okay as well. Okay, get ready for some nice psychology tips. You need to get them talking to you first. So rather than you going in with all of your shyness, kind of flip it on its head a little bit. Get her to come to you. Some amazing ways to do this is to look well-groomed, be confident, look interesting to build her curiosity, and obviously be high value. And if you can do these types of things, this is going to boost how you are in the room, and she is going to want to approach you as opposed to you approaching her. And wouldn't that be an amazing boost for your confidence if she approached you first instead of, you tiptoeing over her very shy and asking her, how are you today? Let's talk about some confidence boosting tips. Upgrade your appearance. Try a new hairstyle. Go out and buy some more clothes. Do something which is going to make you feel confident so that you can adopt that fake it until you make it confidence a little bit easier. Now, let's face it, when you feel confident about how you look and how you dress, you are much more confident when you are out there with people in actual public. Okay, another one. Study what other successful people do. So I want you to take a mental note of how you act in these awkward situations with girls. So we already have a list of the things which make you feel shy. So you need to identify, what is it about approaching girls that you really don't feel comfortable to do so? Is it the way you walk over? Is it the first thing you say? Is it how you stand? Whatever it is, you can most definitely change that. So I need you to study other people, study celebrities, watch movies where you can see a guy approach a lady or a guy approach a guy, and you can start to adapt those confident tactics of how they move and how they engage. And obviously, we're going big on the fake it till you make it concept because it really does work. You can't just wake up one day and feel very confident to talk to ladies. You have to still go out there and do things, even if you do feel very awkward and gross and icky on the inside. You just, as long as the exterior looks cool, calm and collected, you're a boss, my friend. Some amazing ways that you can do this is to actually review yourself. So I need you to look at yourself in the mirror and pretend you are talking to yourself as if you were a girl, if that makes sense. So I want you to actually, say hi. How do you look? How are you standing? How are you walking over? Can you look at yourself in the eye when you're talking? Because if you can't look at yourself in the eye, well, you can't do that to someone else. So once you have found a perfect character, say in a movie, in a game, whatever it is, as your inspiration, practice and adopt that mentality by looking at yourself in the mirror so that when you do it in person, you have definitely practiced. Obviously, she doesn't have to know this. You never tell her, even if you ever got married, you could probably say, hey, Sarah, do you remember 20 years ago when we had that date? Well, I was so anxious. I actually practiced how I would talk to you in the car for 2 hours before I even came into work that morning. Cringy, I know. Let's talk about how you actually talk. Well, talk about the current situation you are in. Maybe you are both waiting for coffee in a queue and you felt like you've been standing there for so long that the crows outside are thinking twice if you are in fact a scarecrow or a human being. So talk about something along the lines of, damn, I'm gonna be here until Christmas, clearly, aren't I? Or even the British favourite, wow, it's hot or very cold today. Very boring, I know, but you know what? It works. It really does work. It opens up that grounds of conversation. So you need to find a way to talk to her that is related to the current situation you are in. Now, the reason why you want to do this is because, well, it removes that awkwardness, because if she does kind of reject you, it's you were just being a nice person, just having a nice quick conversation in a queue, which is what normal people do. You don't always want her to think that you are just coming across trying to go on a date with her. You want to just be nice, which we'll go into a little bit further throughout this video. Another thing that you can do to open up that communication is to give her a compliment of something that you can build on. So let's say, for example, you are still in the queue together. You simply tell her that she has a nice pair of eyes or other things on her whereabouts. You will most definitely scare her off. It's a pathetic compliment that doesn't show any substance at all. Take it from me, it doesn't work. So instead, compliment her on something that would tactically get her talking. For example, you can talk about her bright coloured handbag and say, wow, that is a very bright coloured handbag. Did you buy it yourself? And then she would tell you when she got it, blah, blah, blah. Or, okay, I know this sounds weird, but I really love those shoes. Where did you get them from? Now, these compliments sound pointless, but what happens here is simple. When she notices that you have engaged and opened up that conversation, she is going to know that you are interested in her. And if she's curious and interested back and obviously available, she would try to keep that conversation going herself by asking you questions. So importantly, the focus isn't so much about what to say, it's about the overall vibe that you give her. So if she can sense that you are a confident person and she is interested in you, she is not going to turn you away for being shy. Obviously, if you are dripping in sweat and heavily stumbling over your words, then, well, that would be a bit of a problem. But a little bit of a stammer, a nervous cough, or that slight awkwardness is enough for a girl to completely forget about. And you probably don't believe this, but it's true. Now, a girl will know that you have put yourself out there to talk to her, so she's going to be very forgiving of your shyness because she knows herself. Talking to strangers and people that you are semi-interested in is pretty awkward. So remember, everyone gets shy sometimes. Focus on the present moment. As a former shy, anxiety-suffering person myself, I totally get that feeling. It sucks. You automatically assume that when you have to talk to a girl, you have to adopt the whole conversation. You have to entertain her, keep the conversation going, pull out cue cards to keep her interested. But remember, A conversation only works if there are two people actively present, and the girl will need to hold up her side of the conversation. So this means don't expect that you need to do all the talking. Don't force it. Instead, just enjoy that moment. Get mindful and really enjoy the chat with her. So if you need to work on your mindfulness before you approach women, go and check out the apps Headspace and Calm. They are two of my favorite apps. I use them daily, without a doubt. Go check them. Do not be scared of those awkward silences. This is what you're probably scared of, isn't it? But these moments happen, and honestly, it's kind of cute. Now think about those rom-com movies. There's an awkward silence between two people, but that is when the attraction builds. There's always that kind of, oh gosh, so awkward, I'm blushing. No, it forces a laugh, and it's actually where the romance builds. When these moments happen, when you both run out of things to say, let's say you are both still waiting in that coffee queue, waiting for your cappuccinos, well, that's the moment where someone offers to see each other again or exchange numbers or social media usernames because you've run out of things to say, but you want to maintain that open conversation. So welcome these moments instead of fearing them. And one step better, you can tell her, you know what, I've got to admit it, I'm a bit of a shy person. And this act of confessing how you feel shows you have a big heart. And the lady will always appreciate that, let me tell you. We want to be able to see people for who they are during the attraction building phase, so we can assess if, well, you are a good match for us. So being real about your emotions helps us to feel comfortable. And jumping back to our Drumpf video, this is the art of charm. So go check that video out after this one. Maintain some strong eye contact. Like I said, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you can still feel shy when talking to girls, but you can hide it. And the best trick is to focus on your eye contact. Now that way you come across high value and very confident, and it makes her want to win your attention instead of you winning hers.